Thanks for clicking, and follow Geekdom 101 on Twitter at Emperor Big D.
So this speakdom is going to be called "Falling in Love" because that's what we're talking about here. This is going to be a bonus speakdom because I was going to drop this one on Saturday, and then I don't even remember what happened on Saturday. I just forgot or I got busy, whatever. So instead, I'm going to drop this one probably during the week. As I record this, I'm not even sure when, but it will be during the week. And I want to talk about falling in love and the feeling of falling in love because some of you guys out there have fallen in love. Some of you guys out there have not fallen in love but want to know the feeling. And some of you think you've fallen in love but you haven't. Now, of course, the word love is very subjective. If you watch The Matrix Revolutions, there's that scene in the subway in Limbo in Mobile Avenue where the train man, not the train man, he comes later, the programmer, right? Ramakandra was his name, I think. He's talking to Neo and he says, love is just a word. It's the connection it implies. And that's really one thing I want to get through to people's heads is love is just a word. So you could say, I love my girlfriend, I love my mom, but also say, I love this video game, or I love drinking wine, or whatever you like. I love having sex, whatever, right? And understand that obviously the connection is different. You're obviously going to love your mom different than you love that Coke Zero. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever you love, right? But we're talking about romantic love here. And the thing about romantic love is that it is very real. I know some people don't think it is, and there are scientific reasons for the existence of love, and there's also religious reasons for the existence of love. Spiritual reasons, depending on what your faith is. Every faith interprets love differently, especially unconditional love. But some are the same, just depends. But we're talking about just the basic romantic love here, and that is this overwhelming feeling. So there's a big difference between having a crush on someone and being in love with them. Because we all have crushes, especially when we're younger. And a lot of us tend to confuse crushes with love. Like you get into a crush with a girl, you crush her, and and this is before you even date, because that's the real difference. Even if like she shows signs that she might be interested in or even she doesn't. Some people will say, "Oh, I love her." You really don't love her in the romantic sense from my perspective of it. You have a crush on her. There's a big difference here. Because I don't think romantic love is real unless it's requited love. It cannot be unrequited love. So if you love a girl that you don't even know, if you love somebody over the internet that you don't even know, you could care about them, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying like romantic love doesn't work that way. You have to interact in person. There has to be a certain feeling that you feel when you're together. And that could build up over time or it could happen right away. That's why the whole love at first sight thing, I don't know about love at first sight, right? I do believe in high attraction at first sight. That I do believe in because it's true. But love at first sight might not be real, but love after a couple dates, I think, could be real. And some would say, no, it takes about 6-7 weeks. And in theory, it does. But when you interact with somebody, you have a lot of chemistry, it tends to happen faster. You see what I'm saying? If you and that person have a lower level of chemistry, it might take a bit longer than the chemistry builds up. But there are some cases where you'll hang out with somebody just a couple times and like you connect, you both connect, not just one of you, you both connect and you start feeling that love. But even when you start feeling that, it's not really there yet until more time passes. Time has to pass. You have to kind of go through a little bit of a struggle, and then you have to kind of, well, you don't have to, but you will, because everyone does. And it's all about the connection. And when you're in love, some have said that when you're in love, it clouds you, it clouds your judgment, which is true. And some have said it feels like being on drugs, which is also true. And that's why breakups hurt, because when you're going through a breakup is very similar to having a parent or a relative die while at the same time you getting off of drugs after being on them for a long time. Imagine if you were addicted to cocaine or addicted to I don't know, heroin. Hopefully none of you are. And then they pull the plug on that. Just you go cold one day. It will affect you physically. It will affect you emotionally and mentally, especially mentally. Same thing with a breakup. Like you start actually feeling physical signs sometimes that depression kicks in, right? And then your stomach starts to hurt. You actually feel pain. This is all real stuff. It's all been scientifically proven. It's that disconnection, But what makes the disconnection so strong is the connection. The more in love you are with someone, the more it's going to hurt. And I learned that lesson very recently. And it's one of those things where when you are in love, though, when you are deeply in love, like, you feel, it's kind of crazy. You feel like an elevated person. You feel that you're floating sometimes, especially when you're with them. You see them as being incredibly beautiful, even if it's a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. Even if they're not beautiful, according to what society would tell you, it doesn't matter. Because I know some of you guys out there are, maybe on the heavier side, and your girl says you're handsome, and you're like, no, I'm not. Yes, you are, brother, because she thinks you are. So she's right and you're wrong. Don't let your self-hatred, don't let your lack of confidence get in the way of your girlfriend loving you, dude, because that will hurt you. That will cost you. Trust me. But, like, when you're in love, especially if you're a man, and you're in love, you feel a certain level of strength and power. In fact, it's actually been, again, scientifically proven that when men fall in love, they actually feel better, they feel healthier, they feel more alive. That's been scientifically proven. The same thing goes for girls. The one thing I'll tell you about girls is that women love to be in love. That's one thing that I will tell you. Unless there's been some kind of long-term heartbreak or some kind of trauma, which that would be trauma, or she has a super avoidant attachment style, or she is she's got something wrong with her, like a personality disorder or something like that, because there are exceptions to every rule. Most women love being in love. Most women want to feel that feeling of love, and when they are in love, they show it. Whether it be by buying you a bunch of gifts or cooking you dinner or, massaging you, all those nice things that girls do because they want to do it, not because they have to do it. Because if you make them do it, that's not cool, bro. But if they do it without you having to make them do it, which you shouldn't make anybody do anything, but I've seen this in relationships. If she wants to voluntarily do it, let her do it, and it shows how much love there is there. You know what I mean? It shows that she's interested. You know what I mean? If she's giving you that look, there's a certain look that people give others when they are attracted to them. Their eyes dilate, and they smile a lot more. There's an attraction there. If she feels that all the time, then that's definitely love. You know what I mean? If she's open with you and honest with you and tells you things, and talks to you, communicate good, that's love. That's love. And this love that you have, you gotta also understand that it's going to change over time, because when you start dating somebody, right, you've got the honeymoon phase, which is very real. It's very, very real. The honeymoon phase is not bullshit. Everything's new, everything's fresh. Then eventually you start to run into some problems where you have disagreements, whether it be on lifestyle choices or even minute things. If you can work through those problems and the relationship goes on, the honeymoon phase will fade. And I know a lot of people are like, wait a minute, I don't want it to fade. Well, here's the thing about the honeymoon phase, is that it fades, but you can also bring it back in small doses. And you do that by being creative romantically, communicating, and letting time pass. Because that's, when a woman's attracted to you, especially a woman, more so than men, this is all science, their attraction level goes up and down. Some days they're going to love you more than others. That's just how it is, based on their hormones, their own hormones, based on what's going on in their life. That's just how it is. If she's got something going on, like if her aunt dies, right, she's not going to really love you the way you want to be loved, because she's heartbroken. She has other things on her mind. Same thing with us. Like, we could love a girl, but sometimes we want to be alone. Like, let's say we get fired from our job, or we get into a fight with our friend. We might not want to talk to the girl right away. We might need some time to cool down, and chill out. But eventually you want to talk to your girl and let her know how you feel, and she'll make you feel better. She'll at least listen to you. That's how good relationships work. But, like, this happened, you know what I mean? So love goes up and down. So there's going to be times when you do really nice things for her, or and this is in a relationship, not somebody who you don't know. This is when you're already in the relationship. Or you say something, or you behave a certain way, you make her laugh, where her love will go up. Her attraction will go up, and vice versa. Attraction and love are very similar, but not the same thing, because you can have attraction for somebody and not love them. You can be attracted to whatever girl you want to sleep with. You sleep with her and you don't really love her. You just, okay, fine, I got what I wanted. Some people do that. But love is deeper than that. Love is like, you're attracted, but you also care about the person on a very intimate level. That person helps you. It makes you better. That's really the best kind of love. But you have to understand that when the honeymoon phase ends and you go through your problems, then you start going into like the friendship phase. I might do a whole video on this because there's more to this. I'm actually not telling you everything here, right? Because there's a lot more to the phases of relationship. But the honeymoon phase is then you become actual friends. You spend time together. And even though things might not be as heightened as they were, your dopamine, your serotonin levels are not as high as they were early in the relationship, you're going to have your moments when they are, whether it be she walks in wearing some sexy lingerie that you never even knew she had or she just bought, or you take her on a trip where she feels emotional, like happy, like, Disney World or something like that, where her dopamine levels go up and you're with her, you take advantage of that. Same thing with she's with you. Like, that's how life is. You have these great moments and great memories, and these things help build more love. And then the more of these you build up, it starts to build equity in the relationship. And then as time goes by, she'll love you even more. Not in the same way as she did early in the relationship, but more so like a real, tangible love. Like, I want to be with you for a long time. Now, obviously, things change. People change. There's things you could do to turn her off, or vice versa. She could turn you off. And it's up to your values, because not everybody wants a long-term relationship. But if you do, you got to go in there and see if you can resolve these problems through communication. People tend to cheat sometimes. I've never cheated on anybody before, and I've never been cheated on, luckily. I've been lucky on that one. It's never happened to me before, but it happens. It happens. And when it happens, it hurts, and that could signal the end of the relationship, and usually should. But still, outside of that, right, if you're having problems with little things like, she's mad because you won't take the garbage out, communicate with her that either you can't for whatever reason, or you're just being a lazy fuck. Just communicate with her and say, sorry about that. I know it means a lot to you. I know you work real hard around the house, so I'll go ahead and do it. My bad. If it happens again, feel free to smack me upside the head or something. I'm not saying that's what you should do, but some people are okay with that, Be playful about it and just make it right, Because really, taking out the trash, if she's mad at you over that, it's small shit, dude. Like, and it's nothing. Like, leaving your dirty underwear in a certain place in the house, just stop doing it. You know what I mean? It ain't that hard. We got to be adults sometimes. But if it's like a serious thing, you got to really address that too. But that's a different story. We're talking about love here, and love is a great feeling, and it's a hard one to lose. But I think that kind of love, that very real love, is what separates us from the animals. I think that's what makes us the way that we are. I think that's what makes humanity the way it is. Its ability to love and to be loved in a deserving way because we all deserve it. And I want you to remember that, like I said in the values speak them, remember that people will love you. I love you. I care about you because I care about people in general. I'm not soft about it, but I do care about people. No matter what your political affiliation is, or no matter what your religion is, I do care about you, unless you're a terrible person, which I don't care. But if you're a good person who's trying, because all we can do is try to be good, we're not going to really be good. We always do bad things. All we can do is try. And, you remember that you deserve to be loved. Remember that. And I'll talk to you next time.